Hello, world and Femi. I am Richard.
And I am Gary.
And together we are rocking
Pandoras.
Box, baby. We love
Yay!
you. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
How are you,
Hello.
my friend?
I'm very, very good. Still have the itches of the head and that, but you covered that lovely earlier this week in one of your videos. You know, we sound like a broken record at the moment, but for those lovely people out there that are still feeling it, heart goes out to you.
Well, yes, and this is good that you bring this up, my brother, because I do see a lot in the comments that people are having similar sensation with the scalp, right? And I think it's a lot of detoxing happening in these days, times and moments right now. I had also shared on a video we did with Pt1
Meten,
on this
yes.
past Friday, which was our first episode of Lightning Thrice.
Oh,
Why thrice? Because we got un, dos, tres studs that work for Gaia that all come together. One is our Gary, as you all know, how Gary is amazing with his brain, his research, and connecting the dots. Whereas Meten, he is like a wonderful, beautiful astrologer. And well, then there's me, right? So I guess I'd be like a little bit of the Scooby-Doo of the woo-woo in the background. But, like we talked about this, and I had a lot of new on my solar plexus here that was coming out as ascension symptoms. And I did talk, Gary, to Honey about this, my beloved Honey. And did I talk to her about this? I think I did. No, it was to Meten, and he was feeling like something was coming out because it's where I was birthed around April. So my life force was like starting to have that ascension symptoms of raising its frequency. Yeah,
yeah,
I just
yeah.
remembered.
Superb, superb. He is a wealth of knowledge, and certainly he's got a huge back catalogue of information that's really worth checking out. So a top guy, super intelligent, lovely fella. So what more could you want?
I loved him because it was the first time I got to really interact with Meten. And like, I'm so happy to adopt him. He's got no choice, like, adopt. And I think for you, the family, it's going to be really good because now we got another like divine and masculine that can bring in astrology, but his astrology is deeper.
Well, it's the
Like,
human design, isn't it? He brings in the human
yeah.
design, which is a deeper level again from the astrology. I mean, the astrology is amazing, but the human design takes it to a completely different level. And
Yes.
he can tell you exactly how the sign via your human design is going to affect you and in what part of your body and what kind of symptoms and also what kind of reactions you're going to have to it. And when I first came across this, it was a bit of a moment. You know what I
Your
mean?
hands.
Yeah, my head just went, whoa, 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 you know? So, yeah, for those that have never looked into human design, it is very complex to get straight into. It is kind of a deep subject, but please do have a look at it and try. You can go online and there's free websites where you can put in your details and they'll give you a human design chart and that will show you where all your gates are. So when we talk next month on your birthday boy, on your
It'll be
born
my
day,
birthday, Femi. Yes, Gary.
so that should be Friday the 28th. When we talk again, if you guys have got your chart out, if when Maten's talking about certain events that will be coming and how they'll affect parts of the chart, you can then look and see, oh my God, I've got that. I've got the sacral, or I've got the solar plex, or I've got this, or I've got the throat part of it, or and then you can see how it's going to affect you. And the joy of this is if you know it's going to affect you, you're then mindful of the effect, and you can then deal and cope with what's coming in a better way.
I love that. That is so beautifully said, and what a great like wisdom, like a big brother is helping you out with this information. I concur. Thank you for that.
Yeah, superb.
Yeah.
So we Richard doesn't really know. Before we start these shows, I'll say to Richard, I'm going to probably talk about X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
But whether we get onto Y and Z is another thing. But we normally have a plan of where we're going to start. But Richard doesn't ever get told the juicy details.
No,
And so
I don't want to know. I don't want to know, guys. No.
So Richard always responds in an authentic way, which is the joy of this program. And again, with the human design, I mean, Richard had no clue whatsoever with Maten what we were going to talk about, and that came out so well and so authentic, and the energy was off the charts. So today, Richard, we're going to talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Yay! I love Great Egypt.
Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza has been in the news recently. Now, I'm sure we've all seen, and also that's part of the reason why I'm wearing my Archaics t-shirt with the Phoenix. Errants arise. Anyway, a lot of my information that I will be using in this show tonight, dates-wise, comes from Archaics and Jason. Now, I followed him or started following him probably nearly 3 years ago.
He's been around for a long time, hasn't he?
A long time. He's actually, now this is Mel's book, not mine. There we go. Look, the Lost Scriptures of Egypt book by Jason Breshears. And I think he's written about 12 or 17 books. And so he's a published author before he was a YouTuber. And this guy has got some amazing information and chronology. And I know I'm going to go down a tangent here, but I do apologize. But part of my research, so I'd spent 10 or 12 years, 11 years, whatever it was, doing loads and loads of research. And I'd figured out that we have resets and they're cyclical events. And I'd kind of worked out they're roughly every 150 years or so, but didn't really know and didn't really understand. And then Jason came along, the lovely Mel, again, doing her little, weaving her magic, put me on to Jason. And I think I joined Jason when he's just over 4,000 subscribers. And I think he's now 172,000 subscribers. So, he's done amazing. But rightly so, because of the work he's done. Now, I have written some dates down today that I think are going to be very, very interesting. And for many of you, these will be the first time you've heard these dates. Now, all I can say with Jason's work is that everything that he has dated has at least 3, the trice, has 3 different sources of information, not one original book and 2 or 3 authors citing that one book. It has to be 3 different non-connected sources of information to get these dates. So that's very key. I think he said he's read something like 13 or 14,000 books. I mean,
wow.
And a lot of these books are like the big, thick 18th century, 17th century, boring blurb jobs. And so there's not been anybody like him probably since Nostradamus, really, in what, because he can also predict the future and has done so very successfully by working out what's happened in the past. And he calls that cross-chrolingics. And basically what he does is he looks at the past, and the past is a reflection of the future. And so you can then start to work out, it's not the same, but there's a very good old saying that history repeats itself, is there not? And I'm sure you've heard that.
Well, we all have. Yes.
So anyway, I'm babbling about this, but so the dates I give you, as far as I'm concerned, and from my own research, and I'm nowhere near what Jason and others have done, this is the most accurate dating that we have got currently, and not one university or government sponsored scholar has taken him up on this, and none of them will.
Wow.
So he has asked for debate, and he has called out all the top people, you know, Hancock, the full works. And he said, you're wrong on this information. Let's debate it. And they've all ran away.
That's crazy.
But that also shows that he's right.
Wow, I would, yes, of course it would be.
Yeah, for me,
Of course it would be.
I mean, if I mean, I often will often say something wrong or not quite get it right, and if anyone's to correct me, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. But what he says and the dates and the books and the published material he's done, no one has ever done a critique on his work and said you're totally wrong and this is how it is. Not one person
that speaks
in
volumes.
academia has not taken him on.
Volumes.
So yeah, it does. It speaks volumes for me, and I'm getting the flesh of the goose over that one as well. so I'm going to start way back in history, and then we're going to get to the pyramid. Okay?
Yes.
Because I think it'd be very interesting. Because it's no good me really saying, "Oh, the pyramid construction was started on the pyramid on this date, and it finished in this date, and this is what happened." Because yeah, that's great, but it doesn't really give you any kind of context of what's going on. Yeah.
Right.
And by the way, while I remember it, on Jason's Archaics channel, he's got a playlist called the Great Pyramid of Giza playlists. And I think he's got about 15 or so videos. Most of them are 2 or 3 hours long. And he goes into everything on the pyramids. So what I'm going to talk about today isn't even scratching the surface of what I've heard him say. Okay, so
you listen to all his 3-hour-long videos? Of course you would.
Yeah. It's only recently when I've been doing my own videos that I've stopped, because I've been so busy. I've actually stopped it. But I would say there's not one single video that I had not missed in 3 years.
Wow.
That's quite sad, isn't it, everybody? Sadly.
Well, no, it's not sad. I mean, you're doing the work of the Great Awakening. And if you're like listening to all his videos, it's because it's resonating in you, because here you are now today. Now, like you're doing a new route, a new direction, like you coming out. And, you know, knowledge is knowledge. Huh? So if you listen to all of that, is that sad? I think, no, that's like how kind of alliance military kind would do. You got to do your research to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or this new age.
You've got to put the hours in, and there's no other way of doing it. I mean, no offense, Richard. You've been awake a good few years as well, and you've done a lot of research yourself. You've read things that don't resonate, and you've thrown them in the bin. And there's other things you've read, and you thought, oh my God. And over the years of you doing this, you've got to a level where you have a good understanding of where you stand and what we live in and everything else.
Yes.
But
absolutely. But I'm not a big reader, right? Like me reading, that's like magazines. There I lose myself. Like, what am I reading? I keep rereading the same paragraph, especially if it's complicated. Because then I got my higher self that's coming in the way, and I'm playing ping pong with like spirit, my higher self, and trying to read something, right? So like videos are good for me, because then I can like, okay, does that resonate? Because I always know, guys, right? Like when we speak the truth or we lie. This is what I will like confirm, because if it's the truth and I'm listening and I'm questioning, is this like real or not? If it's true, I'll have happy sensations. I'll have good tinglings. I'll feel at peace, at calm. If it's a lie that's thrown in my face, I'll have anxiety. I'll have impatience, sometimes even anger that I know it's a lie. And that basically is like my inner pendulum, right? that, because you know, like we all use pendulums because, like the cards, this is a very visual, right? So we have the two eyes. We're used to using our two eyes and not the pineal gland. So see, like right now we're confirming that what I am saying is the truth. Show me no. So see, like we're going to a no now. But that you can do with your inner body, like how it comes in. For me, it's always the solar plexus.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get shivers at the back of the brain, but I think you, Gary, you're more the anthill.
I certainly get the flesh of the goose a lot
It's so
when we
fun.
really nail, really
Someone
nail
said
something.
that
Like
make a shirt, flesh of their goose, and I like that.
we need somebody needs to do that, don't they? We need to do a
I'm
flesh of
gonna
the
be
goose.
working on stuff.
Yeah. Got
Stuff.
to.
With yum yum bubble gum. Woo!
So let's get back to these dates.
Let's run. Let's go.
So the last reset that we had was in 4309 BC.
Okay.
So using our current calendar as we are, that was the last reset. And by reset, I mean most of humanity and the realm was changed. It's like a big sweep of the broom. And although there were people left and such like, it was devastation. We're talking
Mudslides and stuff.
Yeah. We're talking mud floods, earthquakes, the sun darkening, freezing weather, instant death, mountain ranges being created, mountain ranges being taken away. We're talking about a complete change. It's a very, very physical, massive event. And we have these kind of events through history. And so we can chart it. So the last major reset was on that date, 4309 BC, to our calendar, because the calendars have been changed multiple times by multiple people to make things fit. And that's where Jason's genius is he's worked out when all the calendars change. It's like in 713 BC, we had a huge event. The sun retrograded in the sky and went backwards. Lots of stuff going on. And again, if you want to know more, check out his channel. But what we had was we had a 360 day a year calendar, and that changed. And we had 5 extra days, 5.24 days, in fact, added to the calendar in that year because of what happened. Bingo. There we go. You couldn't make it up. I mean, out of 78 cards, the one card to come out would be that one.
Is the world.
Yeah.
The end of the world as you know it for the beginning of a new one.
Correct. And this is what we're talking about with this. So we're talking about very big, massive biblical type events here. Not small potatoes here. This is really the meat on the bone as such that we're talking about. So we have another very, very, very important date, and I do want Richard to pull cards on this particular date. And this is 4039 BC. And in 4039 BC, we get something which you're all going to go, no, you're wrong. That can't be so. This information is totally wrong. I can assure you it's not.
You're going to the pyramids, aren't you?
I am, but not yet, because this one's the big one. This one is real big. And this links into, I think, something that's not very pleasant in our realm currently. So in 4039 BC, the moon first appeared. We had no moon before that period. And in 4039 BC, the moon first appeared. Now, what do your cards say about that energy-wise?
Well, I get a funny feeling uh, that it tingles us right. But before I had all these cards with what you were talking about, and I just before I put them back.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the world. Something came crashing, something shocking, a foundation crossing the world in the 1111 portal, and you spoke of the truth with the King of Swords.
Thank you very much.
I
for
wanted
that
to get that
clarification.
out of. Pardon?
Yeah. And that was for the 713
Yeah.
BC 360-day change
Yes.
to the 365-day change that we currently now have.
That's it. And they flipped out, so I had to keep them there, but now I wanted them back in the deck.
Blessings for that one. That's awesome. That is awesome. And
So
again,
now,
this is brand new because I don't think anybody, and I'm not. This is not to test Jason's work in any way, shape, or form, but nobody has ever asked cards about Jason's work and dates to get the feel of what actually happened back then.
well, he's grounded to Gaia. Okay, so he's got a great. He does have some sadness though to him, but he does speak of the truth with the Alpha, the Ace of Cups. So it is emotion. He's an off-worlder. He's exhausted. He's working really hard. He speaks of the truth. He's an informant. He's been uncomfortable for a long period of time. And he is like, this is the king of wands, a king of passion. He is a king. So he speaks of truth with passion. But it's been a rough journey on him. He's been battling the devil.
And you could not be better because you have no clue about Jason. And Jason has been unwell recently.
Oh, well, see, that I did not know. Okay.
So there we go, guys. Again, the power of the cards and Richard's ability shines through every time.
Yay!
So can we go to the moon now?
Yeah, let's go.
So in 4039 BC, the moon first appeared. Was this a period when we had? Is this the beginning of Satan or Janus or the demonic entities or the poor influence into our realm?
Yes, the King of Pentacles. That's a yes card. Let's see what else I can get. There's more information with the King of Pentacles. All right, so then I get the Hierophant. So that's my creepy crawlies. And then I do have you speak a truth, Gary, with the Alpha, the Ace of Swords. Truth, justice, disclosure. It's a big, big yes in tarot reading. I only have 4 aces out of 78. The sword is information. It's a wind element. And when you got so many reefs around it, especially with a crown, it's a massive yes. So I get a yes with the King of Pentacles. I got in regards to the Khazaria, okay, like the creepy cross, or if that could be an energy, right, coming in, and then you speak of the truth. Then this is the woo-woo card, the Queen of Wands, right? She's the Witch of the Tarot. She's highly into her divine sense that is like mystical, independent, passionate. Moving on. Yeah, it created like this new moon, a lot of delusion, smoke and mirrors, leaving everyone highly complex at what they are looking at. This is why you're complex, because you're cloaked in black right here at what you are looking at with the 7 of Cups. And then it created inner conflict, 5 of Swords, information, inner warring. Moving on, leaving the fear of the unknown, even to this day, with the 2 of Swords, because it'll cross, you're blocked. You're blind to what is truly going on. And there is a moon up here, right? So we're talking about the moon. Moving on. Yes, this is another absolute yes to what you see. We can look at this also like a moon, because cards have a general reading. I never read any tarot booklet. I just learned the way I did with the people I were following, as in Janine, and I am here today. But look at this card. Isn't it like delivering a moon?
Yeah.
Bringing in a moon? And then we got the sun. So whatever that moon is, wow, okay, hold on. It ends really good. So could there be changes around this thing like soon?
Well,
Like
that I think that links into the pyramid, and we're
maybe, let me do my clarifiers. We're talking about the devil system.
yeah.
Stress, exaggerated stress, blown out of proportion, but it's of the mind. And then we end and heartache. Okay.
They're quite heavy cards, aren't they?
They're heavy cards. I'm going to need my gold in, okay, if you don't mind.
Of course.
It's only 3 if
yeah.
higher self wants 3. Because sometimes they want like 4 or 5. But okay, it's going to be 3. So we're going to go here. So off-world energy healing the age of Aquarius. I like that. Then we got taming the beast by the mouth with the strength card. And then in regards again to the creepy crawlies, 2 special appearances today. So yeah, I think that you are right. It was brought in. It was not it was a controlling thing because I see so much stress. I mean, sponsored by the devil, guys. Come on. Wow, Gary, you're rocking my world because I knew the moon was, I felt that Darth Vader lived in it, like the Death Star. Like I felt it was, but I never looked into it this way.
No.
But apparently we got a new day, a new dawn coming in with the full.
We have.
Okay, so I'll let you go.
No, I
asking me.
The moon is
because
not.
I can go on and on with information.
No, it's great. I mean, if you want to, because I don't think many people have ever looked at the moon at the angle that we just have. And this is kind of groundbreaking again. So if you've got more that you want to share from your higher self, you go for it, because this is important.
Well, I do get like a portents with the sun card. So whatever is in regards to this moon and all the stress that I saw creating havoc since when did you say it was brought in? 3000?
No, 4039 BC.
So it's been a long time. It's been here, that Darth Vader spaceship.
Yeah.
The sun is coming out. And like guys, I always talk about a golden era, the solar flares, the Schumann's resonance, Gaia being back online, the razor cleansing, Gary's trickling like the ants on his scalp, me, my solar plexus. There is something that the sun is like, could it be that the real sun is coming back? Like, there's something here. There's something. Is it in Japan or in China that around the solar eclipse in March this year that they had brought up a simulation sun? There's something here with the sun getting rid of, there's something here cleansing. Well, and I feel Gaia because I'm very connected to Gaia. And now she's in back of me, like going like with her hands around here. And whatever that was, it's about to be like no more. Like that's the feeling I get, and it's strong in me.
Well, I think we only have our how can I put this? I don't think there's such a thing as the true sun, as such, because of where we live and what we live in. But in the mornings and at night time, we get my childhood memory of a sun, which is yellow or orange. Nice orange.
Very much.
Yeah. And last year when I was fishing, I go fishing. And so I get there before sunrise, cast the rods out, and I'm sitting there and I start sun gazing. As the sun comes up, I'm sun gazing. Why not? Beautiful.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah. You're by the lake, nature, birds around you, just in a completely different world almost. And I'm sun gazing, and I can physically look at the sun. It's not hurting my eyes, and I'm watching it coming up, but actually it's coming towards me. It's getting bigger and bigger, but I'm watching it coming up for language sense. And it got to a certain stage, and it went white, and I couldn't look at it anymore.
You saw that? Wow. Well, there you go.
And in the evening, when it set, it got to a certain level. And all of a sudden, I noticed that the sun, as it was setting, had gone a lovely orange again, a lovely yellow
So
again.
it's during the day, like that spotlight. I saw a video, I forget where, it's somewhere on Telegram this morning at 5:30 because I wake up early because my cats, wake, feed. And wow, I think it was on honey this time, yes. And wow, it's a great video. So someone is saying, like, if the sun was really real and in outer space, doesn't fire need oxygen in order? But apparently there's no oxygen up there. So how does the sun, like, there's so much to unravel about this, because that resonated as really truthful. Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
Cool. Why was no one ever there to ask that question? How does fire exist without oxygen?
Well, you bring a very good point up, because how would a spaceship using a jet engine in space ignite that jet engine without having its own oxygen supply? And in the vacuum of space, there is no, how can I put this? If we're in a fluid, we live in a fluid, okay? And air is a fluid. And so when you're driving your car at 100 miles an hour, your Firebird, 100 miles an hour, you stick your hand out the window and your hand gets pushed back straight away because of the air pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And when you jump into the sea and you're swimming and you put your hand through the water and you pull, it pushes you forward because of the water pressure. A vacuum has no pressure. So what does the flame push against to move the spaceship forwards? There's no pressure.
There is no pressure at all. So there you go, double whammy on, like, things that made me go, what? Right?
I mean, how can I say this? Our world is not what you think it is. And I actually have this is a terrible tangent, but I will plug as well. On my channel, I've done, I think it's called Round, Flat, or Neither. And I've done 2 parts to that so far, flat, round, or neither. And I do need to do the 3rd part at some point.
So that means like flat earth, round earth, or neither? Okay. Well, I think it's neither.
Richard gets a brownie point. But yeah, so if that kind of blew your mind, guys, and you're thinking, what's he talking about? Please go and look at those 2 videos and try and understand what I'm trying to get across there.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So we have just found out, coming back off all those amazing tangents that we have, we've just found out that the moon indeed, via the cards, have confirmed this, that an entity put the moon into our local vicinity, not in space, in our local vicinity. Oh, look at the Pthumerian. Oh, what do we have up there? We have the moon inside a toroidal field, I think.
Yes.
And where are the stars? Are the stars out here? No, they're inside.
So are you talking like within, like, I don't feel you're talking about within a dome, but you're talking about within a firmament?
Yeah, it's a toroidal field, basically. But it's round. See, it is round because a toroidal field will create a round type shape.
Yes, but it circles a lot like the apple or the donut.
Yeah. And again, I have done a video on this and explained this, or my thoughts on this as well, on one of my playlists. So again, this is something I have covered as well. God, it sounds like a plug for me and Archaics tonight, doesn't it? It's terrible.
But you're allowed. I mean, we love you. And if you got more information, because, you know, like within an hour, we're limited. So if we talk family subjects that you go ding, 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 it's like, that's why the plugs are important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got a lot of information.
Yeah.
That we cannot do all on this show.
No.
You know, rocking Pandora's box. So
No.
yes, plug, it's a good thing. And then you go.
So going back to the beginning of the show where we should be now, let's get back online from those
Yes, we
terrible
should.
tangents. So 4309 BC was the last reset. Shortly after that reset, 300-ish, just under 300 years, the moon first appears in 4039 BC. We then have
Again, the same card flipped out the world. Yeah.
So we know the tarot are confirming this period. We then have something that is biblical and is written in the Bible. And I'll just use that as a reference and go no further with that. But in 3895 BC, 3895 BC, Adam, or the Adamu people, came from the underground and onto the surface of the earth.
Let's see.
You just
I've
shook.
never heard that before.
No, I know you haven't. So you haven't heard any of this before.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So I did have the world that poked out. I'm going to keep it out there because it is relevant.
Relevant. Yeah. Yeah. So 3895 BC, Adam, or the Adamu people, because Adam and Eve is actually, Adam isn't one person. Adam is a group of people, how can I put it? A bit like the English are, you know. So if you were saying the story today, oh, Ingle turned up, but isn't, it's England, the English people, you know. So Adam is of the Adamu people who came up to populate the realm.
Okay, so the first card was the world. Second card is a sense of sorrow. Okay, so there is a downer with this. So we got the world, so either the birthing or the ending, but then we had like a misery card. Fives though are not like extremely long lived. Then we got, okay, the alpha, the ace of cups, emotions, the elixir of life. Very creative as well, as the dove plunges into the golden chalice, bringing the elixir of life. Then we do have the temperance also playing with water, the elixir of life, healing, ongoing, major arcana. Next at the heartbeat. Okay, so in regards to your Adam question, because I don't really remember how you've
they came up from the ground. See,
okay.
I hate to interrupt Richard when he's on a flow, but Adam came from Eden, and Eden was a lovely place to be. And
okay, so that could have been like the ace of cups and the temperance. But then at the heartbeat, it's being jaded, not happy at what you're actually looking in front of you with the four of cups. So what does that mean really is you got cups, they are filled, but you're looking at them going like, this is not really what I want, or you're focused on the not has, but will something is coming in, but are you hearing it with that fourth cup? Because you could be like jaded here or unhappy. Next, a shocking tower moment, another major arcana. So some foundation got like brought to the ground or some shocking news. Lightning did strike, people did fall. Then we got the Witch of the Tower. My favorite queen, the Queen of Wands. So she is a very intuitive, like what I do, right? She's like the witch, the woo-woo queen. Follow your intuition. All of those gifts, being very independent, holding a lot of integrity, a lot of creativity in her. Then we move on to collaboration. So whatever happened, then there were new collaborations with the Three of Pentacles of different platforms together. And then we end with a new journey, high hopes, a new adventure, the Page of Wands. Beautiful, resembles a lot the Fool for me as a reader. In the clarifyings, I do have Secrets of the Universe coming online here with the High Priestess about duality. Heartbeat, the creepy crawlies are involved somewhere, somehow. in this story. And then we end with being self-made sovereign with the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful card. This card and this card is very similar in being independent, okay? Needing no one to lord over you. And who is the lorders? These creeps. So it ends well somehow in the future. So I don't know if it necessarily ended well then, but it seems like it's going to end well now.
Yeah.
In the soon future, what I call the golden era, golden like coins.
So you think about it. You're living in a superb card. Go on, go for it, Richard.
Yeah, because everything's going to flip flop in our fortune. Creepy crawlies bottom, angelics at the top.
So you think about it. You're living.
Oh my God! In a restored Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve.
There we go. You think about it. They were living in Eden. Yeah.
Pardon me?
They were living in Eden. And Eden is an enclosure. And that enclosure, I believe, was under the ground. And so when the reset happened above ground, the Adamu people were underground, almost like in a dome, almost like in a deep underground base. And they've come up onto the earth, and it's not what they expected. And they would have had the sorrow, the five, it would have.
Yeah, the five, like there's a lot here that would have been like the heartbeat rate here. And then something shocking. There's a lot to, yeah, okay. You're talking about this guy here, the Five of Cups. There's a lot here, Gary, but this has been going on for a long period of time. And it does end very beautifully for a time like now, while you, me, we're alive, twitching and walking our beloved Mother Gaia's like flesh.
Yeah.
If we're, but
so
these
are the clarifiers.
These are my goldens. Okay, the creepy crawlies once again for the special second special appearance today. And we're going through healing the age of Aquarius with the star. And then we got the world. So we started with the world and we're coming full circle back to the world. So there's that.
Because you love my tangents. And
I do love your tangents.
So the story is Adam and Eve. Well, Adam comes out of Eden, which is an enclosure, which is underground. Adam, or the Adamu people, come up onto the surface. And it's not what they expected. They're a little bit upset about this. They've kind of been tricked, I think. Now, Eve is heaven. Eve, even, the heavens above. And that's where Eve comes from with the Adam and Eve story, is Adam sees the stars for the first time.
Oh my God, like the star card. Yes, of course. And it's all symbolism, right? Like that book.
I just got flesh of the goose on that one.
Me too. I'm getting it on both triceps. Elaine is saying yes. Because Elaine is my higher self, but I give the rock, the crystal, a name, okay? So it's like, this is why I call, either Farah Elaine or Sally or... But it's a yes. Show me no, just to show I'm not busted or you're not busted. So see, going side to side is a no. And for those of you who do not think that it's manipulated, I'm talking, so I'm not blowing. I don't have a fan. My hair would be moving. I mean, so it is manipulated by the energy of the ether, and I'm a conduit of electricity. So that's how it's manipulated. But I don't have a magnet nowhere. I mean, show me you don't know. See, it's going right away in circles. So, I can understand that it might look, but I know, okay, out here, our family, there's a lot of you mama bears and others that do have pendulums. So, and I know you also use your pendulums watching our videos, and sometimes they go like crazy affirming the truth, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Gary's
a rock star.
So I can ask mine, and mine's happy to work with me. So when mine goes backwards and forwards, it knows already what I'm going to be asking. It knows, it's happy, it's up for it.
I want to do mine.
Okay. So am I correct in what I'm saying? And when it spins clockwise, it's a yes. So go on, spin it like you mean it. Come on, baby.
Oh, you're turning Elaine on. We're having more pendulum sex.
So can you show everybody a no, just so they can see what a no would be?
Oh, look, Elaine's listening to you.
And it's going to slow down. It's going to go backwards and forwards, and then it's going to go the other way to anti-clockwise. And there we go.
And look at what mine's doing. Yeah, they're connected. They love each other. Oh my God, look at this. Elaine wants to copy yours. Oh, she's got a crush on yours.
Whoa.
Oh, she's got a crush. She's imitating yours. Look at this.
And that's the no, you know. And
he knows that Elaine is like a Farrah Fawcett, right?
Absolutely. So, now mine is solid brass, and that actual pendulum at the end weighs a good ounce, if not ounce and a half.
Energy. There's off-world energy in the design of your pendulum. You showed it to me, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but I recognize it's off-world energy. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So the pendulum is I use it. I do the tarot cards a little bit, not a lot.
Gary, do you mind? Can you talk to the family? Because I've been drinking coffee all day. I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, yes. So just be lovely. I'll be right back, family.
Oh my God, what did I say? No, it's fine. Yeah. So
Flip your hair.
So Richard's cards were really, really interesting. With the information that I have gained from Jason and Chief Ironbush about the Adam and Eve period and such like, his cards actually made more sense to me, and I couldn't believe how they came out because of the shock of coming from a place where you're being looked after and all your needs are being kept. You know, because Eden is a place of bountifulness. It's safe. And then you get put onto a surface world where everything's kind of beaten up and it's not quite what you expected, not quite what you're told, and you're having to toil and you're having to work for the first time in your life to ensure your life remains. And so very big time, a very big period in time. And it's great that the cards are showing this because no one's ever done this before, and it's not to trick or pick anybody up. You know, I wouldn't be saying these dates if I didn't believe and resonate with what has been going on. So the 3,895 date of Eden and man's first coming up also relates to a separate kind of calendar. So in there's always lots of multiple calendars running at different times, but there's one calendar that has been running since Adam came up, or the Adamu came up, and that's called the Annus Mundi, the AM calendar. And so 3895 BC is one Annus Mundi. So it's 1 AM as such. It's the beginning of that period. And as we go through further dates, the importance of that will become apparent when I explain it. Okay. So one of the very interesting ones that comes up, and it's something that I think Richard's kind of gone on to, and he talks about the Sephites or that kind of period of people.
Samaria.
Yeah. And the Sephites came about in 3765 BC. So that's when the Sephites came about. Now, the Sephites are very important, and the Sephites are called Sephites after Seth being born, as an individual called Seth. So as we've got Adam, who's actually Adamu, Seth was born, and Seth becomes the Sephite people. They take over, and he becomes a king from memory. Some years later from his birth.
But that would be like kind of the devil energy set, right?
No, not necessarily. In actual fact, I've never asked that question. So if you'll give me the thing, pendulum, are you happy to work? Right. Was Seth and the Sephites a bad negative? No, they weren't.
Okay.
So I'll just stop it. Was Seth and the Sephites a good, positive energy, people with good intentions? Yeah.
Huh. I never looked into it, but I always had a feeling or a memory of having information that it was the reverse. I never questioned you, but I want to see for
Please do.
myself.
Yeah.
So Seth, this character, is he I'm gonna go reverse than you because right now, yes, I know we're talking about Seth. Was Seth evil? Huh. So there's some more misdirection. Was Seth like good? Spinning, searching. Okay, so you're right. Wow. I just assumed I knew that the name Seth was like more like the underworld or
Well, Seth is very similar to Set in Egyptian mythology. And Set, we're told, is bad.
yes.
But Chief Ironbush believes that Set was actually good and was demonized later on by
Again, mirrored upside down.
the inversion
Freaks.
of. Yeah, yeah.
These freaks.
Now, the reason why I was confident that Setites or the Sethites or Set was good is because they are the builders.
Oh.
All my arms are going. All my arms are
Yeah,
going.
I'm
Flesh of
feeling
the
it.
goose.
I'm feeling it.
Now, they built a lot of very important, what we would call monoliths or temples or buildings, well after that period. So, for instance, in 3163 BC, they built New Grange and Stonehenge. And that was the Sephite people. So these people are very important.
Corrupted. There's a corruption that happened there, I feel, always.
Always, always. Because because we live in the corrupted Metatron's cube kind of
Yes.
system.
That
Which
goes
was,
back to like that whole concept of the flower of life,
yes, which is actually the
which is
daisy of death.
the daisy of death. And
Yeah.
there's the actual real flower of
Yeah, it's like the lotus flower of
the
life. There is,
lotus.
yeah, yeah. So again, but this I think, and your card showed it, is when the moon first came in. And
Yes.
this was the beginning of that kind of energy. So somebody or something had decided that the realm in which we lived in, we needed something dark in it to create new emotional responses to see what would happen and how the people would react.
Yes.
A bit like introducing a baddie into a film. If the film only has a goodie, the film can get a little bit boring.
Well, it's gonna get boring really fast, and no one's gonna learn anything from the experience, right?
Correct. And so as soon as you bring the baddie in, you then have the concept of good and evil, and you can then start to manipulate people's feelings, reactions, and you bring a whole new concept out into the open, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So, going back a little bit, a very, very important date, and this is probably one of the most important dates that I feel, because this
Mm-hmm.
sets up where we are now. And that is in 3439 BC, 200 Anunnaki descended into the realm.
Against the realm, in the realm.
Into the realm. So 200 men,
mm-hmm.
white skinned, tall, bearded, with blue eyes. And you have to remember that the Adamu and the people who inhabited the realm at that time, the Sephites,
Yes.
wouldn't have been able to grow beards, would have been of darker skin and probably brown eyes like myself and yourself. So
Yes.
these people would have looked and been totally different to what everybody had ever seen before.
Mhm.
These 200 Anunnaki came in, and they were known as the Watchers.
It feels accurate.
And from that, which is also 456 Annus Mundi, so 456 years after Adam had come up onto the ground.
And was not happy, yeah.
Yeah, we have the Anunnaki turning up. And I believe it is around that period that what we get is the Anunnaki were technologically superior by the proverbial mile.
Hence the pyramids.
They had technology, and this is where I've done another one called Ancient Tech, where they had bags called Me's, and within the bag they had a tablet, and they could get the tablet out, press the tablet, and they could produce things and create things, and they had technology beyond our comprehension.
Well, you do have that in old siloglyphs. That they
Glyphs, yeah, the glyphs, yeah. And
so we are talking about, like, this is a bit like an off-world energy. The Three of Wands, it's a portal. Like, you've made the plans and you're ready to travel. Go on.
And it was only it was actually 3273 BC when the most important person in this story was born, and that's Enoch. And Enoch is the mastermind of building the temples and Newgrange and Stonehenge. And he was Anunnaki, and Enoch became the ruler of the world, ultimately, of the realm.
Is there some truth in disclosure, like in Prometheus, the alien movie?
Probably so. Probably so. But again, the movies are often an inversion of the truth, aren't they?
Right.
Now something I've never asked before, and I've never even asked my pendulum this actually, really. Was Enoch a benefactor to the human race?
Okay, so let's see. Let's rock and roll. Enoch, benefactor. Yay, nay. Well, it comes out with a sense of warring. In your Enoch question, there is warring, inner warring, yes. So he would have come in the time of warring. Let's go see what else I can get. It looks like a yes. That's a 1111 portal, graduation, marriage. Then we moving out of troubled waters with the information. Heartbeat, fast moving, it being the Eight of Wands. The second fastest, my family, moving card of the tarot deck. The Chariot being the first, this one the second. A lot of information, very fiery, moves very fast. Moving on, it's military, slow, calculated. A man with a plan. Triple, quadruple chess player, but he will deliver his pentacle wherever he's got his eyeball set onto. And then for the future, yeah, you speak of the truth with the King of Swords. And then, yes, also watching the emotions. Military, this is a military, but he's a wishy-washy, analyzes, how do I proceed? How are people reacting around me? And then we end with, yeah, it's a yes. With the Ten of Pentacles, it's a yes. So
my head's going at the moment. My head's really itchy at the moment. So it's like
it would be. Because in all the yeses, I got the Ten of Pentacles, I got the King of Swords, speak truth, justice. I do have this military that's slow moving, calculating. I do have the 1111 portal. I do have the Alpha Ace of Pentacles. And I do have the 8. The other ones, like, this is not negative. It's just moving out of troubled water. This is watching people's reaction in order to know how to proceed on. The only negative one is the first one that came in with, like, inner conflict, inner warring. But that was the first. To your question, then they came in.
Sounds about right. And from what I understand of the history, the cards are absolutely bang on again.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, from my understanding of the cards and the history, that was bang on. So
yay. Yay!
So we have this character called Enoch who was born
Mhm.
and who became the king of
Oh, I'm
everywhere.
sorry, Gary. Someone's at the door.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
can
problem. I'll
you
carry on with my
flip your
story.
hair some more?
So what we have is Enoch took over, not necessarily in a bad way, but because of the technology and the fact that I think he brought in modern farming, domestication of animals and such like to the Sephites, or it helped the Sephites and the Adamu and whoever else was around at that period of time. Um, we then see that he quickly, with the technology, became the king, and this is Enki. Oh, sorry, Enoch. Sorry, Enoch is also known within the Chinese. And the Chinese also have Enoch as their part of their culture around this time as well, period, which is very interesting. And this is why dragons have beards, because Enoch is remembered as a dragon with the beard. Because remember, the Anunnaki could grow beards. And so that's why in folklore, I mean, I believe there were dragons around for sure, but
There
in
were dragons
yeah,
around.
but in the Chinese folklore, the reason why a dragon has a beard is because Enoch had a beard, and Enoch was in charge, or certainly assisted China, as he did many, many lands, and that is why the dragon has the beard, because the beard is a representation of the Anunnaki.
Because why would a dragon have a beard, right? I mean, it would be like a lizard kind, like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that's where we are with that. So that's an interesting side thing. Now, Enoch, in 3208 became the king of the Sephites. So in 3208 BC, Enoch then becomes the king of the Sephites, who are the builders of the realm. And this then links into the Chinese story with the dragon. It's all around this time period that we see this. And Jason's actually got something called Chronicon. And for not much money at
Well,
all.
isn't that the Book of the Dead?
No, 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 no.
No.
He's got it, he calls it Chronicon, and this is a chronology of the world, and he writes down everything, and he has
Okay.
all the sources to it and everything. I
I
have
think I think I got mixed up with the horror movie Evil Dead Chronicon. Okay.
no, yeah.
Yourself just showed me how I'm so sorry. Go on.
No, carry on. That's fine. We need these things to clarify. So
Yes.
so Enoch becomes king. Once he's king, the Sephites build Newgrange and Stonehenge. Okay. In 2908, Enoch ascends out of the realm. And it's the only, as far as I can work out from all the things I've seen, it's the only time a being or a human ascends in front of a group of people out to God, as in their frame of reference. But Enoch ascends out in 2908 BC. And he this this happened at Akazan.
Akzan?
Akuzan.
Oh,
Akazan.
I accuse you, Akazan. Is there something there?
Yeah.
I accuse. Okay.
Yeah, it was Akazan, okay? And the modern equivalent of an Akazan is Giza in
Giza.
Giza in Egypt. And that's Lower Egypt. And just to confuse everybody, when we talk about Lower Egypt, we're actually talking about the top part of Egypt and not the bottom part. So Upper Egypt is where the pyramids are, and sorry, Lower Egypt is where the pyramids are, and Upper Egypt is where we have the Valley of the Kings and such like down below. So Lower Egypt is at the top, and Upper Egypt is at the bottom, just to make things
Everything's
more confusing.
reversed.
Everything's conversed. So Enoch, or Enki, sorry, Enki, because Enoch and Enki do they kind of they cross over. So, but I'm trying to keep this to Enoch and Enki, but it's Enoch.
You're so cute.
Thank you. Enoch gives some plans to the Sephites to build a pillar, a monument to man.
Mhm.
We now know this monument to man as the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Mhm.
Now, the Great Pyramid, or the first stones, the foundation stones were laid by the Sephites of the Great Pyramid in 2905 BC. So the pyramid is not 12,000 years old or 50,000 years old or any of that bump. The first pillars or first stones were laid in 2905 BC, a few years after Enoch left. It then took 90 years for the Sephites to build the Great Pyramid of Giza.
90 years?
90 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Great Pyramid was completed in 2815 BC.
Okay.
90 years is 1080 months, 1080 months. That was also the year of the Annus Mundi of 1080. Now, the significance of 1080 is our vision is 1080. So when you buy a television that's
Oh my God, I know where you're
HD,
going.
which HD, that the highest
Scott.
definition you can buy is 1080p. And I think there's a correlation with that because there's no coincidences when we're dealing with people of this intelligence with the Annus Mundi and such like. Now, the other thing about the pyramid is it was a machine. And the reason why Enoch could not be in this realm while it was being built is because he could have potentially let the game go of what it really was for and its intention. So when he wasn't around, you're getting cards on this. You're getting the story coming, aren't you?
I got a whole spread. Like, just keep talking.
For sure. Don't right. So what we find is this machine was built by the Sephites following plans. They had no real idea what they were building. Potentially a well of some sort, but they didn't know what they were building. And because they didn't know what they were building and they had no bad intentions or good intentions, if we go back to the moon as being the controlling energy, that energy would not know, the creepy crawly energy would not know,
Infiltration, it feels
would
like
not
the
know.
movie Moonfall, that fog that comes out of that fake moon.
Yeah,
That's how it feels. Like like I call Samaria, you call it a different name. What do you call it?
Well, it's Mesopotamia and all that area, isn't it? Yeah. But these people built this pyramid with pure intention.
Intentions, I am totally getting that.
And when you build something with pure intention and you don't know it has...
This is the energy, is the creator. That is pure energy. And I got the creator twice as soon as you said that. Because, okay, this is not a governmental political question, but when I do touch those kind of questions, those two are my only two trump cards, and the white hats. White hats working for the good of humanity. And as soon as you said that, I got those two. One, that is our creator, therefore the creator, after being uncomfortable for a long period of time. So you were accurate.
So they built the pyramid, but the pyramid is far more than just a pyramid. It's a monument. It's a pillar. It was built as a pyramid is a modern name, a modern word. It would have been a pillar, a monument to man. And back in the day, when you went to a library, there were no books inside the libraries. The information was carved on the pillars. And you would go, the pillars, there we go. Oh my God. So the pillars would have had the information. And my arms are going really badly at the moment.
My nipples too.
The pyramid or the pillar to man would have been information. You'd go into a library and you'd go to the pillar and you'd read the information off the pillar. And the pyramid had and was encased in, and the biblical people here will know the significance of this, and so will some of our other people. The Great Pyramid of Giza was encased in 144,000 white casing blocks, and on each block was information and knowledge placed on it. So the Great Pyramid of Giza externally was the greatest library of information ever created.
Wow. Like the Akashic records here on Earth. I don't even know how to read my cards anymore because I've like followed you through the whole conversation that you call like, what do you call a tangent?
Yeah.
But it's all good. So in the last segment, I do have the creepy crawlies that are here. I do have coming out of a slumber, a dark night of the soul, the off-world energy coming to enlighten everyone for new collaborations. I also get feline energy in regards to restoring the health system. Okay. Do you remember the beginning of what you said?
Well, I said that Enoch went so that he could not be involved in the plan, so the Sephite could build stuff in purity.
Okay. So you speak the truth with the King of Swords. That is truth, disclosure. You cannot unshake it. And it was planned for a very long period of time. With this militia card, that it's almost like planning something in the past that is preordained to happen in the future. But they've been watching themselves for somehow this one keeps coming up. It's a fickle card. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just this militia is so aware of people, how they react, they might change their mind at one point. But we did have the judgment card at the center of your speaking, Gary.
Yeah.
So the trumpet has been trumpeteered, awakening the dead. Fast movement coming, rapid fire with a lot of information about secrets of the universe and your pillars right there. Okay. For the future, it's moving even faster than the heartbeat because the heartbeat was the 8 of Wands. Now this is picking up momentum, being the fastest, travels the world. It could be about anything really, but doesn't that look like Great Egypt right there with the
yes.
pharaohs right there about duality? Creating inner conflict, inner warring, but then there's a message coming out. He's a messenger, this Page of Swords. Okay, he could be a watcher or stalker, but with this right now, after the conflict, something's going to move a lot. It's going to create inner conflict of words, maybe news, but then there's a new message. Then we got, because this is not political, I just use my political so you understand, because I know you're my family and you follow me. But these two cards in this question is like creator. And then, because we've been uncomfortable for a long period of time, against the creepy crawlies that have ruled over us, that there is no more. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sucker. Off-world energy coming to enlightenment. So I guess there's a return. There's a return coming back, because that is a return. A bear coming out of a cavern after its sleep. It's spring. I'm hungry. I got passion all over again. And new collaborations. New day, new dawn. Yeah.
Because
and then again, Garden of Eden.
Because I've only gone on about the outside of the pyramid. Because the outside of the pyramid was one thing. The inside of the pyramid is even more important. Now, I'm aware of the time, and we love a cliffhanger. So
It's because I have a reading in 10 minutes.
you do, and I'm aware of that. So I would say, how about a part
Two.
two parts, and we start on the importance of the inside of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Yes, let's
And
do that. As in double your pleasure.
oh, this is right up my alley, right up my alley. I mean, oh my God, I'm
Pleasure
in
to
hog's
do.
heaven. Um, but not only that, because I believe what's inside the Great Pyramid of Giza has a huge effect on the Golden Age and is part of the
I
Golden
think so.
Age.
I feel it. Let me just, like, before we hang up, this is Farah, guys. So Farah, is he on point? My brother, yes, he is. Oh, shake it like you mean it. I know you got, like, use that hair, flip it. Da, 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 da. That was Charlie's Angels. Yeah.
Superb. Yeah, so in part two, we're going to really, really look into the importance of what's inside the pyramid.
We are.
On a very, very quick note before we go, we're seeing information about the underneath of the pyramid currently. Yeah, I'm calling it out as fake news. Do you have a fake news button by any chance that you could show me?
Well, yes.
Where is Trump's fake news?
Oh,
disaster, let me tell you.
you got it. I thought you wanted me to go for my solar plexus.
You are fake news.
Fake news. Show the people. Show it because they want to see it. Look.
Fake news.
Fake news.
I was wondering. Yeah, my fake button.
Fake news media.
Fake news media. You heard it first.
That was good. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason, one of the reasons I can be very, very firm and certain on this, and this is just one little thing of information, and that'll be it, is inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. It was built before the Egyptians. The Egyptians didn't build the Great Pyramid, the Sephites did. And inside the Great Pyramid of Giza are not one single itsy bitsy piece of Egyptian hieroglyphics or anything. There's 0 Egyptian hieroglyphs in that pyramid. What's your pendulum saying?
Wow, you can see, like, it's a yes. Farah's saying yes. Is there any way he is wrong? Oh, shake it. Be Farah Fawcett. Shake it like how I see your life was, like, bigger than life. Okay. Show me. You don't know. Yeah. See, not busted, guys. No, right.
So I'll go on.
Right.
So the latest pictures that we see of these people underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, showing us all this tech stuff. On the walls are Egyptian hieroglyphs.
But I also see, like, underwater, there's no way that the gold, after all this time, would say, like, wouldn't it deteriorate?
Gold's quite interesting. It doesn't really, but it would.
But there's blues. There's not just gold.
No.
There's blue, there's gold, there's paint.
There's copper wires gone round, and they're as shiny today as they were. Well, we're looking at...
it doesn't tarnish all of a sudden, copper, after all these years. I mean, we're not talking about 5 years. Bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2905, the Sephites laid the first foundation stone.
Yeah,
that's a few thousand years for something to go a bit dark, isn't it? So I don't believe it whatsoever. And the quality...
We'll keep this for part 2.
Well, Pete, so there we go then. Thank you very much, Richard. So,
do you family love that? I think this was a great video. Of course, I love being with you, my family. I really love being with you, my brother. Gary, I love you. I almost swore. I love you.
Why break a habit of a lifetime, my friend?
So
And
guys,
and can I just say before we go, in the UK, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the UK, it's Mother's Day today. So happy Mother's Day to all the mama bears and all the family out there. Blessings.
okay, please stop. I don't understand. Again, I don't understand like how come New Canada, we went back 1 hour last month. You just started today. Or yes.
Yeah.
My Mother's Day is in May. Why is yours today? Like, nothing makes sense. Like, what is this? I thought Mother's Day was Japan everywhere the same day, but I was obviously wrong. What's going on?
It's Mother's Day today in the United Kingdom. So
did you know that my Mother's Day was in May?
No.
See? What is this? Well, happy Mama's Bears Day to all the beautiful UK Mama's Bears. But there's just something weird because I saw you posting that on Telegram and I'm going like, oh shit, I got to go buy like a dozen roses for my mom. And then I went Mother's Day and it said May 15, 16 or Canada. So that's weird.
Very weird. Very weird.
That could be another episode of the weirdness of daylight saving and time and three. Yeah, I think that should be good.
Yeah, I agree.
If you guys agree, write it in the comments because we do read every one of your comments.
Yes, we
Unfortunately, we can't answer to all of them because there's a lot, but we'll usually like hearts and well, if you're extra good in your compliments, you might have like hearts.
So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to Richard Cardinal's channel and my own, which is Alternative Interactions. And all the information that we've talked about today, a lot of it's on my channel already. So please go through and find it. And Archaics has all the information. He's got his own website.com. And on there's a wealth of information, charts that show all this kind of stuff if you're into it. So part 2 next week. Rock and roll, buddy.
So be good, be kind to yourselves, family, and we'll catch you all on the next episode of Rocking Pandora's Box. We love you back.
Bye, everyone. Blessings. Mwah.